footballer Joe Cole, who got hitched at the weekend wearing his late grandma's wedding band to keep the memory of her alive, says in an interview today, "I wanted a ring that would mean something, so I had my nan's plain gold band altered to fit my finger." Not a nice thing to do. Do any of us have keepsakes from loved ones that we sort of keep around us to remind us of them?
No, with my mum, it's more pictures. Like, I've got a lovely picture in my bedroom of her with Kira, and it's memories looking at pictures for me, and obviously memories that I'll always have in my heart, so they'll always be with me. But I haven't actually got like jewellery or stuff like that. But Ray's got his dad's. When his dad passed away, he kept his gold wedding band. I think it was his wedding band. He kept his gold ring, and he's got all his war medals.
Oh.
And he keeps all of them in a little box, and he likes to get them out, and it brings back memories, you know. If I hear one more story about the war medal, seriously. I mean, I know it's lovely, but honestly, 9 years I've heard it. I feel like I've been in the war, you know, but that's nice.
Yeah, I do keep little things. I mean, not too much, because, you know, I don't want to be surrounded by stuff, even though, you know, most of the time I am. But I've got loads of little things of, I've got my grandma's wedding ring, which I did wear when I was married the first time. And the reason I wore it was because my grandma had like a 60-odd-year wedding. Marriage rather, and I thought, oh, that'd be handy. Mine might last, but mine only lasted 2 years, so it didn't really work out. But I did wear it for that reason, and also Chris didn't believe in jewellery, so he wasn't going to buy me one. So I wore it because I think it's important to have that, you know, that symbol of being married. So, and then when my mum died, we went through all of her stuff. And all I kept was, I've got this little box that you can kind of frame and put on the wall. It's, you know, see-through at the front, obviously, and it's like little mounted little, I don't know, little display thing. And it's got all the little funny things that my mum had, some really peculiar little things that they were her favourite things. Like, she had a thing that you go like that with, that you get pickled onions out of the jar with. Like little tongs or something. Yeah, not like a fork or anything. Yeah, you know, like those things in the fair, in the seaside, that picks up the teddy but it never does. Like that. And you can just pick an onion out of the jar. I've never seen one of those since, ever, in my life. And her little clock that she was Barmaid of the Year, Daily Mirror Barmaid of the Year in 1973 or something like that, a little clock. And this other thing, she had this she used to do crosswords, and you type in a word, and it would come up with the word that the crossword was probably asking for. And it was the one thing, it's the three things, and there's some other things in there as well, just really remind me of my mum and how sweet she was. So, yeah, I do keep things.
Yeah, and handy.
Yeah, well, I don't use it, it's in the box, it's, you know, it's safe.
Well, I remember going to my grand's flat once and saying, "I just love your plant." She had this lovely big plant that just looks so healthy. And she says, "I'll give you a couple of cuttings." And at the time I thought, what are you giving me cuttings for? I don't know what to do with them. Yeah. But I've got these two massive plants now in my house that were the cuttings from my grand's plant.
Oh, that's nice. They're still living. It's a living thing.
And I just get so much joy of seeing them all lovely and green, and they're very big now. And so I always look at those and think, oh, that's my gran. And then we've got another thing that Tony, Janet and I pass around my dad's old keyring, which is a jack-o'-lantern. So if one of us is going through a bad time, the other one will say, right, you need me dad's jack-o'-lantern. And it's just a little bit of comfort, really. Yeah. But that's the two main things that I've kept. Oh,
so that's
I
nice.
kept, the other thing I kept was when Chris left, and he left all his stuff, and I went through it, and I thought, oh, yeah, I might keep something if I think it's of value.
Sorry, love that.
No, do you know what I kept?
What?
Well, you know, it was around the time, not long after, but he forgot to take his toothbrush, and I thought, well, if I keep his toothbrush and the toothpaste that he was using, maybe one day when, you know, he's not around anymore, that might be worth a few quid. So I've kept that, and I've got it in a box somewhere. So handy.
Yeah. I think the only thing I've sort of really collected, I'm very fortunate, I've got most of my family still with me. The thing that I collected was, you know, you get all the laminates for when you sort of have show business events that let you have access to things. So I've got a big trunk full of, like, all my Oscar
a trunk full
of laminates and of things,
you have an
like memorabilia.
It's good that, though. You see,
I didn't have tons of Nolan stuff.
I didn't keep anything from the Nolan's days, but since I've met Ray, he's nothing. And since I've met Ray, he's collected all of it, and stuff now that I go, oh God, I forgot we did that. You know, from years and years and years ago.
But he's a stalker. Do you know that?
Right, listen up, because this week